So, hello, friends. Luba Gentry here, and we are looking at the last lesson in my series, Express Citizenship with Luba, which is for people who want to become US citizens. And this series has only 6 lessons. This is the final one. It is to prepare you for your citizenship interview. Your every interview has 2 parts, the civics test and the English test. During the civics test, they will test you on your knowledge of history and government. For this lesson, I would like you to get familiar with the state and local government, rights and the responsibilities of citizens and non-citizens, and the oath. And to do that, I recommend you to read Unit 12 and 13 from the Citizenship Test booklet, which you can find by clicking on the link I prepared, I posted in here. And I also posted the pages that I want you to read in this booklet. But reading is totally optional. You can do it, or if you choose not to, that's fine. But you do have to study 100 questions. And for this lesson, you will need to look at questions number 42 through 44, 48 through 57, and number 11 and 12 from 100 questions list. The link to these questions is also provided here. I will go over each question with you, and I highlighted the answer that I think is easier for you to remember. If you choose any other answer, if you like any other one, please memorize that one. Feel free. Question number 42. Under our Constitution, some powers belong to the states. What is one power of the states? I highlighted give a driver's license. If you like any other one, please memorize that one, the one that you prefer. Number 43, who is the governor of your state now? You would have to check with your state to find out the answer to this question, but I hope you know who the governor of your state is. Please make sure you know the current name of the governor before you go to your interview. Number 44, what is the capital of your state? And I hope you know the answer to that question as well. Depending on the state, the answers are different. Number 48, there are 4 amendments to the Constitution about who can vote. Describe one of them. And I picked this answer. Any citizen can vote. What you see in brackets, you do not have to memorize. Number 49, what is one responsibility that is only for United States citizens? Vote in a federal election. If you like another answer, which is serve on a jury, please feel free to remember that one. Number 50, name one right only for United States citizens. And I picked the same answer as I picked for the previous question, vote in a federal election. Number 51, what are 2 rights of everyone living in the United States? I picked freedom of speech and freedom of religion. If you prefer any other 2 answers, Please feel free to remember those ones. Number 52, what do we show loyalty to when we say the Pledge of Allegiance? And I like both answers. I highlighted them both. Pick one, the United States or the flag. Number 53, what is one promise you make when you become a United States citizen? And I picked this answer, obey the laws of the United States. Please read all of them. And if you prefer a different answer, feel free to remember that one. Number 54, how old do citizens have to be to vote for president? 18 and older. Number 55, what are two ways that Americans can participate in their democracy? I picked vote and write to a newspaper. So you may see there are many answers here. If you prefer any other answers, please memorize those ones. Number 56, when is the last day you can send in federal income tax forms? And I hope you know, it's April 15th. Number 57, when must all men register for the Selective Service? I like both answers. Pick one, the one that is easier to remember, at age 18 or between 18 and 26. Number 11, what is the economic system in the United States? And again, I like both answers. Pick just one, capitalist economy or market economy. Number 12, what is the rule of law? And I like this answer. Everyone must follow the law. To pass this part of your interview, you need to answer 6 questions correctly out of 10 that the officer will ask you. What questions you are going to get at your interview, even the officer does not know, because they are being generated by the computer at the time of your interview. The next part of your interview is English test, and that's when the officer will test you on your ability to read, write, and speak English. Reading and writing test consists of reading one sentence off of the screen and writing one sentence also on the screen using a special pen. Sentences for reading, I provided on the left part of the screen. Sentences for writing on the right part. These are only sample sentences. We do not know for sure what kind of sentences you will get, but they will be about history and government. I will be reading them in pairs. Sentence for reading will be followed by the sentence for writing. Please remember that the maximum number of sentences that you can get during your interview, both for reading and for writing, is 3 only. Okay, so if you don't read a sentence at your first try, if you don't read it correctly, the officer will offer you another one and then another one. Altogether, a total number is 3 for reading and 3 for writing. Let's look at number 35 for reading. Who is the father of our country? Sentence number 35 for writing. Washington is the father of our country. Please practice writing sentences at home as many times as it takes to not make any mistakes. In this sentence, capitalize Washington as the last name of the president and capitalize words father, our, and country. Number 36 for reading. How many senators does the Congress have? Number 36 for writing. Congress has 100 senators. I believe that the sentence for writing will be dictated to you 2 times by the officer, so please pay attention. Capitalize the words Congress and senators in the sentence. Number 37 for reading, when is Labor Day? Number 37 for writing, Labor Day is in September. Capitalize Labor and Day as the name of a holiday and September as a name of a month. Number 38 for reading, do we have to pay taxes? Number 38 for writing, we have to pay taxes. Number 39 for reading, where is the White House? Number 39 for writing, the White House is in Washington, D.C. Please capitalize both words, white and house, and capitalize Washington, capitalize D and C. After Washington, you are supposed to put comma. After D and C, you should put a period or dot. So number 40 for reading, and the officer is going to say, please read this sentence. You will see it on the screen. When do we vote for president? Then the officer is going to say, now please write. And you will write the sentence on the screen. We vote for president in November. We vote for president in November. So like I said, I think the officer will dictate the sentence for writing twice. In this sentence, please capitalize president and November. And this is the part where they test you on reading and writing. They test you on speaking when they ask you questions on your N400 application, which is the application you use to apply for citizenship or naturalization. In this lesson, we're looking at part number 12, items number 33 through 50. To find the application, you may by clicking on this link I provided here. Now let's look at part 12, and I want you to pay attention to this part where the sentences are underlined. Answer item numbers 30 through 46. And in this lesson, we are covering 33 through 50. We already covered 30, 31, 32 in the previous lesson. If you answer yes to any of these questions, except item numbers 37 and 38, include a typed or printed explanation on additional sheets of paper and provide any evidence to support your answers. Please be aware of that. So if you answer yes to any of these questions, you will need to provide an explanation on a separate sheet of paper. So let's look at the questions. Please pay attention to the words that I highlighted in green. I explain these words or give definitions for these words under the picture of this part of N400. And the officers at the interview are not supposed to ask you for clarification or definitions or explanations of these words. I want you to still understand them because I do want you to answer these questions comprehensively, okay? So I do want you to understand each question, what they are about. So number 33, have you ever been removed, excluded, or deported from the United States? Even though there are three words here, removed, excluded, deported, this question is about deportation. So have you ever been deported from the United States? Yes or no? Number 34, have you ever been ordered, removed, excluded, or deported from the United States? So has there ever been a time when a judge in immigration court ordered you to deport from the United States? Yes or no? Number 35, have you ever been placed in removal, exclusion, rescission, or deportation proceedings? Well, so has there ever been a time when a case was filed with immigration court for you to be deported or removed from the country, or about canceling your immigration status, which is lawful permanent resident status? Number 36, are removal, exclusion, rescission, or deportation proceedings, including administratively closed proceedings, currently pending against you? So is there an active court case about your deportation that was filed with immigration court? Number 37, have you ever served in the U.S. Armed Forces? Yes or no? So have you ever served in the U.S. military? Number 38, are you currently a member of the U.S. Armed Forces? Yes or no? For people who said yes, please look at items B and C. B, if you answered yes, are you scheduled to deploy overseas, including to a vessel, within the next 3 months? So are you scheduled to be engaged in the service in serving the U.S. Armed Forces, including on a military ship, within the next 3 months? And C, if you answered yes, are you currently stationed overseas? Are you serving the U.S. Armed Forces outside of the United States? Yes or no? Number 39, have you ever been court-martialed, administratively separated, or disciplined, or have you received an other than honorable discharge while in the U.S. Armed Forces? So has there ever been a time while serving in the U.S. Armed Forces when a case was filed against you with the military court? Or have you been let go out of the U.S. Armed Forces without any honors? So because you did something wrong. Number 40, have you ever been discharged from training or service in the U.S. Armed Forces because you were an alien? And by alien, They mean a foreigner or an immigrant. Number 41. Have you ever left the United States to avoid being drafted in the U.S. Armed Forces? So have you ever left the country, the United States, to not serve in the U.S. Armed Forces or in the U.S. Army? Number 42, have you ever applied for any kind of exemption from military service in the U.S. Armed Forces? Yes or no? Number 43, have you ever deserted from the U.S. Armed Forces? So have you ever left the military or taken off just on your own when you were in the U.S. Armed Forces? Yes or no? Number 44, are you a male who lived in the United States at any time between your 18th and 26th birthdays? This does not include living in the United States as a lawful non-immigrant. So this question is only for lawful permanent residents who were in the country anytime between your 18th and 26th birthdays. Yes or no? Let's look at B part. If you answered yes, when did you register for the selective service? Which means you were supposed to register for the selective service. And you will need to provide the information, date you registered, and selective service number. So if at any time when you were a lawful permanent resident and you lived in the United States between your 18th and 26th birthdays, you were supposed to register for the selective service. And when you do that, you need to keep the date of registration and you need to keep the selective service number they provide you when you register. Let's look at the C part. If you answered yes, but you did not register with the selective service system, and you are, number one, still under 26 years of age, and that is at the time when you apply for naturalization or for citizenship. So you must register before you apply for naturalization and complete the selective service information above, which is the date when you registered and the selective service number. You absolutely have to do it. Let's look at item 2. If you answered yes, but you did not register with the selective service system and you are now 26 to 31 years of age, but you did not register with the selective service, you must attach a statement explaining why you did not register and provide a status information letter from the selective service. So that goes only for people who are now between 26 to 31 years of age. But you still have to go to Selective Service System website and download a status information letter. We are moving to the end of your N400, and we're going to look at items 45 through 50. Answer item numbers 45 through 50. If you answer no to any of these questions, include a typed or printed explanation on additional sheets of paper and provide any evidence to support your answers. Number 45, do you support the Constitution and form of government of the United States? Yes or no? But reasonable answer is yes, right? Number 46, do you understand the full oath of allegiance to the United States? Yes or no? The question is about understanding. The oath of allegiance you should find at the very last page in N400, and that is the oath that you will be taken at your oath ceremony. So please get familiar with it, go over it, read it, understand it, and the question is, do you understand the full oath of allegiance? Number 47, are you willing to take the full oath of allegiance to the United States? Are you willing to take it? So are you willing to promise that you will be loyal to your new country? Yes or no? Now, for people who are members of churches, I know that you are not supposed to take any oath, and to prove that, you would need to provide a letter from your church verifying that you are a member of that church, and it should be signed by your pastor. Number 48, if the law requires it, are you willing to bear arms on behalf of the United States? So if the time comes and the law requires it, are you willing to protect the United States with weapons in your hand? So again, for church members, the answer probably is going to be no, but you would need to provide a letter from your church. Number 49, if the law requires it, are you willing to perform non-combatant services in the U.S. Armed Forces? So what kind of non-combatant services are we talking about? Those are services that are not include you to be fighting with weapons. And the examples of those services are cooking or helping in hospitals. Number 50, if the law requires it, are you willing to perform work of national importance under civilian direction? So are you ready to perform or do work that is significant enough on a national scale, so you are willing to do the work that is important for the whole nation under civilian direction, not under the direction of the military, but civilian direction, for example, direction provided by government officials. So yes or no. And that would be the end of your interview. Now, all of the words that are highlighted in green, I explained them to you here below the picture of that part of the form. If you have additional questions for me, please text me, call me, or email me. I wish you only the best in this journey to United States citizens, and I do want you to pass your citizenship interview at your first try.